All right, so you saw Liverpool squeak out a win against Wolves, right? But want to go deeper, like really understand how much pressure these guys were under.
It is fascinating. Yeah, you see that score, you think comfortable win, but man, the reality, way more complex. The emotions of this match really messed with how Liverpool played.
Anfield was, well, Anfield, electric. But I could feel the tension, especially after that frustrating draw with Everton. Fans were like desperate for domination, and at first it seemed like maybe, just maybe.
They were going to get it.
Yeah, Luis Diaz opens the scoring, but one of the weirdest goals I've ever seen.
Picture this, right? Clearance from Tony, Wolves defender, totally sliced. It basically lands right at Diaz's feet. He kind of like stumbles into scoring almost.
Not pretty, but hey, a goal's a goal. Still, something felt off about Liverpool. Even with the lead, it's like they were more worried about not losing than actually winning.
There it is. That pressure, the mental side, it starts showing. Then, oh boy, things get wild. And Badu, Wolves player, just clumsily challenges Diaz in the box. Penalty, no question.
Now, just so everyone's on the same page, clumsy challenge in football terms basically means a tackle that's out of control, uncoordinated, often leads to a foul. In this case, Agbadu went in from behind Diaz, which is always risky and wet.
Yeah, to make it worse for Wolves, he gets a yellow card. Frustration was building, you could see it. Containing Liverpool was proving a challenge.
And then Mohamed Salah steps up to take that penalty. Calm as you like, slots it home. Goal number 101 for him in the Premier League at Anfield. Crowd goes bonkers. Salah does his signature pose.
Side note, that goal puts Salah into elite company. He's now tied with Wayne Rooney. Goals scored at a single venue in the Premier League. Only Henry at Highbury and Aguero at the Etihad have more at their home grounds. Pretty impressive.
So 2-0 up, you'd think they're cruising. Nope, that's what's so interesting about this match. Scoreboard looks good, but there was this underlying anxiety to Liverpool's play. Even the fans felt it, I think.
2 goals up, you should feel confident. But for Liverpool, it was like the pressure got worse. Hesitant attacks, Wolves starting to get a foothold, and this leads to one of the weirdest stats of the match. Liverpool didn't attempt a single shot in the second half.
Let that sink in. Liverpool at Anfield, known for their attack, didn't even try for a goal the whole half. Says a lot about their mindset, right? So focused on not losing that lead, they completely forgot about attacking.
Textbook example of playing not to lose instead of playing to win. Fear of conceding, fear of that lead slipping away. That became their biggest opponent. And as the second half went on, you could just feel that fear taking over. Wolves, they could feel that shift, right? Momentum starting to swing their way. They pressed higher, made some key substitutions, brought on fresh legs, more attacking energy.
And you could see the changes working, their manager's tactics. Wolves started exploiting those spaces Liverpool left open, as they dropped deeper and deeper into their own half.
One tactic that really stood out, that high press. For those who don't know, it's basically aggressively pressing the other team's defenders way up the pitch. Forces mistakes, disrupts their build-up play.
Wolves were relentless with it, and it almost worked. Bellegarde, he came on as a sub. This brilliant flick puts Munetzi right through on goal. Only, luckily for Liverpool, Alisson was on his game. Incredible save.
Huge save, that turning point maybe. If Wolves score there, momentum completely flips. Who knows what happens?
But the pressure on Liverpool was immense, and you could see it getting to them. Konate, he was on a yellow, and man, he was lucky not to get a second one. That challenge on Cunha reckless.
Gotta remember, second yellow means a red card. You're off. Your team's down a man for the rest of the match. High stakes.
It felt like Konate had the weight of the world on him, Frustration just pouring out. Even Alexander-Arnold, usually so calm on the ball, he was shaky. Not like him at all.
Yeah. Unforced errors, bad back pass to Alisson early on that almost gifted Wolves a goal. He got a yellow too, late challenge. The tension in Liverpool was, well, tense.
But despite all that, the anxieties, the mistakes, Liverpool held on. Won the match, wasn't pretty, but they got those 3 points, pushed their lead at the top to 7 points.
Resilient, that's what they were. Far from their best, but found a way to grind out a result. Exposed some vulnerabilities, though, didn't it? That inability to stay composed under pressure, switching off offensively in the second half. Those are concerns.
And what was interesting, the post-match comments. Robertson, he talked about digging deep, using their experience to get that win.
He knew, right. Said Wolves were excellent in the second half, and Liverpool needs to do better on the ball. Keep possession, control the tempo.
Van Dijk, he talked about fighting till the end, that resilience, withstanding the pressure. But he admitted they need to improve.
Valuable insights, those comments. They know they weren't at their best, and they want to learn from it.
But here's the stat that, to me, really tells the story. Not a single shot attempted by Liverpool in that second half. First time ever at Anfield in Premier League history.
Yeah, that's telling. They retreated into a shell, just absorbed the pressure. Risky strategy that, against a team like Wolves, hungry and determined.
It's like they let the pressure dictate how they played, instead of playing their own game.
Exactly. And that leads to the big question. Can Liverpool stay composed, play with freedom and confidence going forward? These next few matches, crucial. Can they overcome this mental hurdle?
Next up, Aston Villa, and let me tell you, they can absolutely cause an upset. Plus, Liverpool, after this Wolves match, physically, mentally drained. How do they respond?
Don't forget the fatigue factor. They had that brutal FA Cup match midweek against Everton, which they lost. Took a toll, physically and mentally.
Robertson even said he was feeling it playing midweek. And the team as a whole, especially second half against Wolves, looked a bit lady.
Almost like they're still carrying that FA Cup loss, haven't shaken it off, gotta find a way to move on, get that swagger back, the confidence that's made them so good.
Otherwise, those mental lapses, that cautious play, it'll keep happening. And their title hopes could be in trouble.
It's a balance, right? Stay hungry, keep that desire to win, but also handle the pressure of being top of the table. Mental game's just as important as the physical one when it comes to winning a title.
This Wolves match, it was like a mini version of their whole season, Talent, experience, a manager who knows how to win.
But also vulnerabilities. Switching off an attack, especially late in games, and that susceptibility to pressure, those are weaknesses that can be exploited. Got to be careful.
So will they learn from this? Can they fix those issues before it's too late? This last part of the season is going to be a wild ride.
$1 million question, Rail. And to answer it, we got to get inside the mind of the man in charge, Liverpool's manager, Arne Slot.
Okay, so Arne Slot, the man in charge, guiding Liverpool through this pressure cooker. What's he all about?
New to the club, relatively, right? But the impact he's having, significant. His record so far, amazing. 60 points from 25 matches. That's elite level stuff. Only one manager in Premier League history had a better start, Mourinho.
Wow, the special one. But even he would have been tested by that Wolves game.
And that's what's interesting about Slot. The whole match, he's calm, composed, like almost stoic, even when things were tense. But little moments, they showed his tactical mind.
Like subbing Konate at halftime. Konate was on a yellow, walking that tightrope all game.
Bringing on Nat Phillips, Nunez, neutralized that potential red card, brought fresh legs into defense, proactive decision. Slot understands how the game's flowing.
And bringing on Endo late in the game, that tackle, crucial, stopped what could have been a really dangerous Wolves counterattack.
Endo off the bench, can't overstate his impact. Slot saw they needed more defensive solidity. Wolves were pushing for that equalizer. Endo provided it, a gamble that paid off big time.
Those subs, more than just changing players, they were tactical, like master strokes. Shifted the momentum right back to Liverpool.
It's like watching a chess grandmaster, anticipating the opponent's moves, countering them, precise, smart.
And the psychology of it, right? Slot's management style, those post-match comments were something.
He praised them, their resilience, but he also acknowledged the bad stuff. The need to stay focused, grounded, don't get complacent.
Like he was already prepping them for the next match, making sure they didn't get carried away with the win.
Slot gets it, man. Managing expectations, staying level-headed, that's huge in a title race. No resting on their laurels.
So we've looked at the goals, the tactics, even the psychology of it all. But there's a bigger picture, right? We got to zoom out a little.
This Wolves match, it was like a tiny version of Liverpool's whole season. Talent, experience, a manager who's a winner.
But also those weaknesses, that tendency to switch off an attack, especially in the second half, and that vulnerability to pressure, those things can derail their title hopes.
The big question is, will they learn? Can they fix those problems before it's too late? This final stretch of the season, going to be a wild one.
So you saw the drama unfold, we've analyzed the tactics, got a glimpse inside the minds of the players, the manager.
But as we wrap this up, this deep dive, something to think about. What makes a champion? What separates them from everyone else?
Is it just raw talent, great tactics? Or is it something deeper? Something like mental toughness, the ability to perform under pressure?
Those are the questions that'll decide Liverpool's fate. As we've seen, even the best teams can crack when the pressure's on.
And that's what's amazing about sports. It's that battle. Talent, willpower, and just the unpredictable nature of the game. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking those questions, and remember, there's always more to discover below the surface. 1700.